Hello and welcome. It's Desiree. I just want to make sure that you know that you are in the right place. My name is Desiree Stafford. Again, I want to welcome you to today's training. I'm super excited to be here with you, and I hope that you are just as excited as well. And welcome. I'm a little distracted trying to make sure that I have all of my slides up on the screen as they should be. I hope you can see them. If you could type into the chat box and let me know that you can see them, I'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, let me just let you know where you are. You should be able to see the first slide on your screen. It's a picture of me and also the title of today's presentation, where we're actually going to be talking about the number one reason that you're not making the money that you want and deserve and how you can fix that. Right? So we've got a lot to cover. For those of you who don't know me, I work with coaches, authors, and speakers, and as a result of clients working with me, they often increase their fees up to 500%, and they attract high-paying clients consistently, clients that they love. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that as well. If you could just please type into the chat box and just bear with me. I thought my slides are working just fine, and I'm not quite clear that they are right now. So just go to show you that you can be successful in business and you don't have to be a technical wizard, because I certainly am not. All right, so it looks like we're in good shape here. Thanks for all of those who said hello. I've got Dawn from Chicago, and Melanie is here from DC. Hello, Melanie. Brenda's from Jersey. Camille is from Texas. Jennifer's here from Toronto. Hello, Jennifer. And Tammy's here from Woodland Hills. I love California, Tammy. I was actually out in Woodland Hills not too long ago, so I'm so happy that you're here. All right, guys, thank you for letting me know that you are in the room. So good to have you on the training, and I see that there are more of you here, Sandra and Sue. So, guys, whenever you get a chance, just buzz in and say hello. Say hello. All right, so here's the deal. I'm really excited to be here with you. Oh, you do see the intro slides. Carolyn, thank you so much. All right, cool. So really excited to be here with you. I have about 90 minutes to share as much as I can get to share with you today. So I'm going to be going through some of this content quickly. I hope you're taking notes because this training is a lot of content. You're going to understand how simple it can be to grow your business. So if you've been struggling trying to figure it out on your own for a while, I'm going to break it down to the ridiculous for you so that it's really, really simple. That doesn't mean that there aren't some intricacies that you need to learn and understand. The point of this training is to really give you the block, the core concept that you need to understand so that you can fast track to your success. Because I'm really tired of seeing people struggle. You know, there's a lot of hype and fluff and stuff in our industry that really doesn't get to the meat, to the root of the real problems that people are facing and the reason why they're struggling to grow their businesses. So I want you to get as much as you can from being here today. If your intention is to kind of just gather information and you have no intention to take what I share with you and actually implement it in your business, you might want to save yourself some time and hop off the line now because I don't want to waste your time, and I certainly don't want to waste my time. I want you here if you are ready to, make something happen in your business. If you're ready to take the strategies I share, as long as they resonate with you, and actually apply them in your business and start to get real results, then you're in the right place, right? Because together, we're going to be walking through the steps that I've used and my clients have used to design high-end programs. I'm also going to talk to you about, why you're not currently making the money that you want and how simple it is to fix that. Okay, I started, about 12 months ago, charging about $2,000 per program, and I was so scared to charge that. And, these days I'm charging 5 figures to work with me, and that's in a group, not even one-on-one anymore. So just so you know what is possible for you, I really want to paint that picture for you. All right. Now, it is important to note that, like I said, I've increased my fees that significantly within 12 months. There are people who've been undercharging for years, and if that is you, no worries, because what I'm going to show you today is going to be able to turn your situation around if you're willing. I'm so confident that if you follow what I've shared today, you'll be able to get the same results that my clients have gotten. All right? And one of the reasons why I'm here today, I just want to let you in on who I am and what I'm all about, is I really value people like you who are up to big things in the world. I really believe in being a part of a bigger solution. And I know that if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're an author, if you're a speaker, if you're someone who has a message to share that can help people, the work that you are doing is valuable, and it needs to be out in the world in a bigger way. There's a lot of stuff going on, some good and some bad. And if you've got something good to put out there, then you need to get it out there in a bigger way. You need to be impacting more people. And you also need to be taking care of yourself and feeling confident about being able to take care of yourself financially. So that's why we're here. That's why I teach what I'm going to be teaching you today, because it's super important for me to know that not only are you able to make the contribution that you feel called to make, live out your purpose and your passion, but you're also handsomely rewarded for doing so, okay? That is huge, no exception. All right, so you should be seeing the second slide, which is going to talk about exactly what I'm going to walk you through today, and that's how you can add at least $3,000 or $12,000 to your bottom line within the next few weeks or less. It really depends on where you're at with your business and your confidence, okay? Without losing control of your time. Okay, so this is not about working harder. It's about thinking differently about the work that you do and the value that you provide. It's about thinking differently, all right? So this is for you if you're selling a service like coaching or consulting, or if you're someone who wants to add coaching or consulting to your business. So if you're currently an author, if you're currently a speaker, and you want to add, programs. So you go out and you speak, and you want to be able to offer people a program where you can support them long term, and maybe that program is coaching, or maybe it's giving them some kind of training, then you're in the right place, because you're going to learn how you can do that. And if you currently have some programs in place, but you're undercharging for them, you're going to learn how to increase your fees and how to attract and enroll high-paying clients with a lot less effort. Right? Not as difficult as people make it out to be. It might seem that way because of all of the stories that we have running in our head. All right? You're also going to discover how to package, price, and market your services without having to chase prospects. Okay? Without having to feel pushy, without feeling hypey. And that's even if you have a small list, maybe even no list, if you've never sold a high-end program before, and if no one knows your name yet. So it's whether you've been in business for a while, but you're kind of like the quiet type, like myself. Maybe you're an introvert and really don't put your stuff out in a big, huge way. You can still attract your ideal clients. You can attract them consistently, and you can make amazing money for the value that you provide to them using what I'm going to share with you today. So I hope that's exciting to you, all right? So I have on here being a quiet influence. That kind of goes back to the point that I just made about the fact that maybe you're not the type who's like the look at me entrepreneur, right? Maybe you're not the type who's really comfortable putting yourself out there in a big way. It's not that you're afraid to be visible, or maybe you are a little bit, but it's more that who you are just doesn't resonate with being really loud or living in the spotlight. So if you're not that type, and there's nothing wrong with you if you are, if you're more extroverted, if you're more gregarious, and that's your comfort zone, then stay there. I just want you to know that if that is not your thing, if you're more of an introvert, if you're more of the quiet type, and you still want to make amazing impact, amazing influence, and great money, you can still do that. You can still have what's called quiet influence. And I love this slide that you see up on your screen, where it talks about learning to embrace, build, and utilize your quiet strengths in order to influence those around you. Because at the end of the day, if you're in the business of changing lives, if you're in the business of transforming people through your work, then you have to be in the business of influencing them, whether you do that in a very loud way or if you do that in a quiet way. You get to choose that. And I just want you to know that if you're like me and you're more the quiet type, you can still have an amazing business. You can still make a ton of money. You can still make the impact that you want and not have to be someone that you're not, all right? And again, you can do everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today without having a fancy website, without having multiple certifications or any certification, without having a huge social media following. You know, if you've been led to believe that you have to struggle and toil in your business for years, I want you to know that is not true. Because like I said, I've completely shifted things in my business within the last 12 months, and you can too. I've got client case study I'm going to walk you through, made the transition within weeks. So have comfort knowing that when you decide that you're ready, you can make something happen really quickly, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, what I want to share with you, everything I want to share with you, I've got well over at least 12 hours, if not more, of content on this stuff that I'm training you on today, but I only have 90 minutes with you. So, you know, there will be other ways that you can learn more about what I'm sharing, and I'll talk to you about that later. But right now, what I'm committed to showing you how to do is what we're going to cover, and that's specifically the number one reason that you're not making the money that you want and need and how to fix it. I'm going to walk you through a case study of how one of my clients, Shelly, increased her fees by up to 500%, and she enrolled her first $3,000 client within weeks of us working together, and she did that without having to make any low-end offers. She had a very small mailing list, under 50 people, and she had no website at the time, okay? And you're also going to learn how to attract, you know, high-paying clients, people who are ready, willing, and able to invest in themselves through you so that you can smooth out your cash flow, so that you can add $3,000 or $12,000 to your bottom line within the next 30 days. Okay? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, all right, sounds really good. Those numbers might be a little big, and so could this really be true? Well, could it be true for me? Right? So if you're thinking that, you're smart to think that. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of hype in the marketplace. And if you've been online for any amount of time, you know that sometimes, you know, there are programs that maybe you've invested in, people that you've worked with who promised you the world, but it didn't really deliver. So I get that you might be thinking that, right? But I want you to know that what I'm sharing with you is what's actually working right now. I'm walking you through a real-life case study so that you know this stuff is possible, all right? You know that it's possible. And I promise I'm going to give you as much as I can in this training. All I ask is that you give me your undivided attention for the next 75 minutes or so. We have about 75 minutes left, so just need your undivided attention for that time, okay? And I also want you to stick around to the end because I have a high-converting marketing and sales funnel for you. All right, so you're going to want to get your hands on that. Right? So let me ask you a question. Can you relate to any of these scenarios? Have you ever felt, you know, overworked and underpaid? Are you maybe stuck at $2,000 or $5,000 per month and you can't seem to break through to six figures? Are you selling low-end programs because you really don't have the confidence to charge more? You really want to charge more, but every time you get ready to do it, you're like, right? You hold your breath like, will they buy? Okay? Is your cash flow inconsistent? And you're tired. You're really at the point where you're tired of just getting by. And you're at the point where you're like, I am not going to tolerate this anymore. And you want to stop chasing after clients who either can't pay or they won't pay. Can you relate to any of that stuff? Oh, hey, Lori from St. Louis. Yes, I'm getting all yeses. Jennifer says she can relate. Cam says she can relate. Teresa can relate. Okay, cool. All right, so we're all in the same place here. Look, I was there with you not very long ago. So believe me, I know what that feels like, and it doesn't feel very good, all right? And now let me ask you another question. How much time are you spending surviving versus thriving, right? If you can relate to any of that stuff that I just talked about, I have good news for you, right? Because you can transform your situation very quickly. I'm not saying it can happen overnight, but I am saying that it can happen very, very quickly. And the real problem is the number one reason that you're not making the money that you want because you're not really going for it. You're not really going for it. You're probably too afraid to do that. And I know that might be a little bit confronting, and that's something that we're going to have to work through today, because I need to be as transparent with you, and I need to be as informative with you that you really get what's blocking you, okay? Oftentimes, we are too afraid to go for the money that we really want. I cannot tell you how many times I speak to people who have a dream of 6 figures, but when I ask them what they want to make within the next 12 months, they say, about $50,000, that's realistic. But I'm not asking you for realistic. I'm asking you for what you want to make within the next 12 months, right? And that's part of the problem. Part of the reason why we don't get what we want is because we're afraid to ask for it, or we're afraid of what's going to be involved with going for it, okay? And if you've been in business for a while, you know that it's not necessarily a cakewalk the entire time, right? But when you do have support, things are a little bit different. So really think about it. How much time have you been spending in your life and in your business surviving versus thriving, okay? And not really knowing your value and undercharging because of it, and never reaching your financial goals. And maybe you know that you should be charging more, but you continue to hold yourself back for whatever reason. Maybe you felt like you're too much, or you're worried that you're too greedy, or what will people think if you make too much money? And you dim your light, or you swallow your real dreams and your desires. How many times have we been taught to be satisfied with where we are and what we have, and not to want for more? Why not? Okay? Or maybe you've got accustomed to undercharging for so long, and you don't know how to ask for more money. You're afraid that people will reject you. All of this stuff happens because we have fear, right? We're afraid to really go for what we want. We're afraid to really own our value. We're afraid to be judged and criticized by other people. And worse yet, we're afraid to judge and criticize ourselves. Why can't we just be satisfied with what we have? Right? So, look, I help my clients break through all of that. And I can tell you that that has been my personal journey. I have felt all of those things, and it has held me back for a really long time. And it wasn't until I got to that place where I said, enough is enough. Instead of asking myself, well, am I worthy? The new question became, how do I know that I'm not? Right? So I really work with my clients to help them identify their value, to help them get clear about how much money they want to make, not what they're settling for, and how to create the programs that are going to support the lifestyle that they really want, so that they can really be who they want to be, live and enjoy the life that they really want, and impact the people that they're meant to serve in a greater way. Because when you show up fully as you're supposed to be, as your authentic self, embracing all of who you are and going for what you really want, you inspire your clients to do the same. You model for them what's possible. That's why it's so important that you get your stuff together. Okay? All right. So let's talk about your signature system. So I just mentioned to you that I help my clients make a lot more money, right? I help my clients increase their fees by up to 500%. Here's how I do that. I help my clients get really clear about the transformation that they create for their clients, the result, the outcome that they get for their clients. And then we figure out, well, what's the process that they take their clients through, right? So if their client is at point A, how do you get your client to point B? What are those steps that you're taking them through? And that becomes your signature system, okay? I love signature system, by the way. I built my whole business about this because I love leverage, and this is all about leverage. This is taking your knowledge, putting it into a process that you can then package, and you can create a whole cohesive suite of multiple programs. And this could be the backbone of your entire business. So no more creating disjointed, program after program after program. But instead, you have, let's say, for example, you have a signature system that's 7 or 8 steps. Let's go with 7 steps. You have a 7-step signature system. You can then turn that into a package that gets your client a specific result. And let's say that's a year-long program. We're going to be talking about packaging in a second later on in the training. But let's just say for the sake of example, you're going to turn your 7-step signature system into a 12-month program, right? What if you meet a client who's not ready for 12 months yet? You can take modules out of your signature system and offer your client a different entry point. Right? This is why it is the backbone of your business. This is how it creates a cohesive suite of offers, because they all lead to the same outcome, but you can serve people based on where they are. So look at what I have on your screen. I talk about leverage. You're leveraging your knowledge so that you can stop working so hard and you can make more money. So you're not working so hard creating all of these different programs that are not even related and confusing yourself and confusing your market. Instead, you simplify your business. You're not working nearly as hard, okay? It also helps you break through 6 figures faster. When you can identify the result and the value that you provide to your clients and clearly articulate that, you can charge a much higher price point because people understand what they're investing in. You're giving them something that is tangible for them to sink their teeth into, and they know that they want that, right? And so what they're ending up paying for is the value that you provide. It's the outcome that they get from working with you. It's no longer your time, right? It also gives you the confidence for raising your fees because you have a clear process that works to help your clients get a specific result. So you're then charging based on the result. Right? That's where the confidence building comes in. Plus, you get the confidence because you already have a process that you can follow. You don't have to figure it all out on the fly, right? And you're helping your clients get more consistent results, again, because of the process. And, of course, I mentioned that it allows you to streamline your offers, right? Now, it's really important that you get that when you get this concept that I'm sharing with you, that you will know exactly how to add those dollar amounts to your business like I talked about. So you'll know exactly how to add at least $3,000 or $12,000 to your bottom line within the next 30 days while freeing up your time. Now, these are dollar amounts that my clients achieve, okay? Whatever your goal is, you can decide what the dollar amount is going to be for you, all right? So, and the better news, here's the better news, is that you can be just like me, and you can be just like one of my clients who's just a real woman, right? You just really care deeply about serving your clients, and you don't have to learn the latest internet trend or tactic, right? You don't have to learn, like complex marketing strategies. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. You don't have to have a fancy website, like I said, or even a website, right? And your clients will happily invest 4 and 5 figures to work with you. So what that means is that when you get this dialed in for yourself, you can generate cash flow consistently, working with only a handful of loyal, committed clients, right? So you don't have to serve the world. You can serve a handful of people deeply, and that creates a ripple effect because those clients that you serve deeply and you help them get amazing results, they go out and do the same for the people in their lives, okay? But you still get to create a huge impact without having to touch each person individually. All right. So let me tell you a little about me, and then I'm going to get into some more strategy. You can see there's a picture of me on the screen. Again, my name is Desiree Stafford, and I have had the good fortune, the good luck, I don't know what you want to call it, to share the stage, the virtual stage in most cases, with the people that you see on the screen. So you see Dr. Venus Opal Reese, Alana Lashinsky, Dr. Rashna Jain. I'm actually not going to read through all the names. Most of the faces you can recognize, Christine Closure, Adam Urbanski, Erica Liramark, Patty Farmer. So recognizable names in our industry that I, again, have had the good fortune to either share the virtual stage with or I've interviewed them one-on-one, just, different ways that we've been able to collaborate and work together. So it's been an amazing journey for me. These are the top minds in our industry, and to be able to share space with them has been amazing, right? It's been amazing for me and my business, and I've just been so grateful for it. And what I do is I help my clients, like I mentioned to you earlier, increase their bottom line. I mean, that's essentially what I do. I help my clients make more money so they can have more freedom and help more people. Right? If we were to put it into layman terms, that's what I'm about. That's what's really important to me, and that's what drives me. I wrote a book called Clarity, Confidence, Clients, and that book, I was fortunate enough to have that hit the bestsellers list. So I've done some things in my career. And actually, once upon a time, as you can see from this other slide, once upon a time, you know, there's cupcakes here. I was a partner in an award-winning cupcake company. I was a partner in a multi-million-dollar real estate company. I am a real estate investor. Started investing about 10 years ago, so I have a real estate investment company that I have, and I grew that into a six-figure revenue stream in about a year, I think it was. So all of those are my successes, right? And you also see a picture of me in Paris. I love traveling, specifically Europe and the Caribbean. My family is Caribbean. And I actually took my first trip to Asia a couple of years ago. Now, I'm telling you this because I love travel. I think, you know, travel is freedom and getting to learn about different cultures and all that kind of stuff. And I really, really enjoy that. It's one of the privileges I think we get to have in life if we allow ourselves to do that. And I'm sharing this whole travel bit with you because I became an entrepreneur after I came home from a trip to find out that my position had been eliminated. And that didn't feel very good. You know, it's kind of scary, in fact. You come home from a trip and you have no job. So I went out and I got another job. I didn't think anything of it. But then it happened again. And it kept happening. And every time it happened, it felt like the rug was pulled out from under me and I had no control over my financial destiny. And so that's when I decided I wanted to become an entrepreneur. That's when I started investing in real estate because I needed a backup plan. I needed a way to take care of me in case an employer said to me, thanks, but no thanks. And so that was when I decided, maybe I should think about this whole business thing, right? Now, I didn't switch over to become an entrepreneur right away. I mean, it took a little bit of, actually a couple of years before I said, you know what, I really want to do this. But once I got into it, the joy of being able to control your time, being able to control how much money you make, the thrill of all of that is what kept me in the game and to allow myself to have that kind of freedom. But I also am aware that not everyone has that experience in business. And I'm acutely aware because that wasn't always my experience either. Now, a minute ago, I told you that I was a partner in a real estate investment company. And I will tell you that that was my major fail. It did not go the way that I thought it would have gone. And I had to make some serious choices. And the choice that I made at the time was to close the business with my partner and to go back to corporate. And then going back to corporate did not fit. You know, once you've had a taste of your own freedom, it's very difficult to go backwards, right? And when I decided to come back as an entrepreneur, I was super committed to really helping other women work through the limiting beliefs, the doubts, all of that stuff that comes up when we're in business for ourselves. Because one of the reasons why I made the decision to go back to work was I was afraid. Things weren't working out the way that I thought that they should. I didn't know that it was just par for the course, and I got scared. I got cold feet, and I didn't really go for it the way that I should have. And I see that happening with people in business so often. They stay stuck at a certain level, and if they don't get a handle on that, the worst thing can happen is that they go back to work like I did. And so I was really committed when I came back into business that I didn't want anyone to have to go through what I went through because that was a huge setback. I lost a lot of time and my confidence. I mean, beyond time, beyond money, we can get all those things back, right? But it does take a long time to regain your confidence, especially when you feel like you failed at something significantly. So if you're struggling in your business right now, or if you felt at different points in your business that you were failing, believe me, I understand what that feels like. And I want to inspire you today that, number one, it no longer has to be that way. Because to turn your situation around, if I could speak clearly today, is much simpler than you think. All right? And the simplest way that I can help my clients do this and really get out of the current situation that they're in and start generating the income that they want to make quickly and consistently is to show them how to package, price, and market their services to attract high-end clients. I'm going to talk about the psychology behind that as we go through this training. All right? So there's a lot that we're going to cover. All right. I do want to tell you that when I first started my business, if you could see on the screen, it looked like this, right? It looked like I had all of these ideas. I knew I needed an idea. I needed to plan. I needed, to test and market and all that kind of stuff. And I just jumped online because I didn't know what to do. I attended every free training and webinar that I could. I was gathering information, and I was piecing things together by myself, and I was not getting the full picture. And so I was offering a whole bunch of different services, and I was basically a Jill of all trades. I was offering services based on whoever was in front of me at that time because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't know it was going to sell. I just didn't know what I didn't know, right? And I started to not love what I was doing because I was confused by what I was doing, and then I started chasing shiny objects because I couldn't get any clarity, and it was a daily struggle. And it felt like it was sucking up all of my time and all of my energy. And if you've been in that place, I bet you can relate to what I just shared. And it doesn't feel good, right? You feel constantly overwhelmed. You feel like your business offers way too many different services. You feel like you're always working, but you're not getting the reward for all the effort that you put in. And I wasted I was going to say 6 years, that would have killed me. I wasted 6 months of my life doing that. 6 months of my life spinning my wheels until I decided to take a leap of faith and invest in the coaching and the mentorship that I needed to turn my situation around. I got the help that I needed. And, if you're at that place, maybe you've already invested in some help. And, I hope that you got some value out of that because this entrepreneurship is not a game that you should be playing by yourself. This is like it takes a village to raise an entrepreneur. It really does. Because not only are there things that you don't know, but as you get out there and you're implementing things, you have questions, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm piecing this together, but it's not working the way they said it's going to work. You have questions. You need someone to give you feedback. You need someone to help you with your mindset. You need someone to help you with your strategy, to brainstorm with you. You need people to help you really be successful in business. Any successful business person that you've ever heard of has people behind them. So if you don't have that right now, you really want to give some serious thought to that because it can make or break your business, right? All right. So for me, when I didn't have that kind of support, I was going down rabbit holes. I was chasing shiny objects because if you're not aware of this, there's a lot of, easy button solutions, quick fix, magic pill stuff out here. And all it does is sit on your digital bookshelf. Right? You'll buy it might be $100 product or, even a couple $100, but it becomes a throwaway because if you don't get the interaction that you need and you don't get the accountability to really hold your feet to the fire and follow through on the strategies, then, you just assume that it doesn't work and you move on to something else and you go after the next shiny object. The worst thing that you can do, but that's what people do. That's what we're actually conditioned to do. So if you're doing that, don't feel bad. But just understand why you're doing that, okay? You might feel overwhelmed like I did. Because before I got the help that I needed, I felt overwhelmed. There was so much information. We can Google anything, right? It's like information overload 24/7. So I was constantly overwhelmed, not knowing which direction to go and what to choose. And I was literally spinning my wheels. I felt like I was on a hamster wheel, right? And it sucked. To be plain honest with you, it sucked. So I finally got to the point I was like, come on, what if there is an easier way? What if there is a different way to go about this? Instead of me being Superwoman, we all think we're Superwoman, we can figure it out, we've got it. Oftentimes we're again, conditioned to feel like we have to know all the answers. And we're afraid to really be vulnerable and open up and say, I don't have all of the answers, I need help. So I got to that point where I was like, I wasted enough time already, and I wanted help. And so I thought to myself, what if there's an easier way? And that's when I started to get really clear that I wanted a real business. And that's when I hired the coaches and the mentors. I hired the best people that I could, even though I couldn't really afford it then. We won't talk about that. But I did hire the best people that I could. And that's what made the huge difference. And so let me show you what my results have been since then. I really learned how to combine my passion, my skills, and how they intersect with the biggest problem that I solve for my ideal clients. And that's what I call your profit sweet spot, right? I also learned how to implement a simple business model that supports my lifestyle. So remember that signature system we were talking about earlier? That's it. And I'm going to talk to you about that today. I also learned how to easily attract high-paying clients. I had the good fortune in this business to attract high-paying clients. I didn't start off charging low fees. I knew for myself I did not want to go that route because I was afraid that I would get stuck there. Because, you know, you get used to kind of like the double that you know. So even if you're undercharging, you'll stay undercharging because that's where your comfort level was developed. And so sometimes it's very difficult to make that transition if you start there. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. And I didn't want to get myself in that place. So I was like, you know what? And I invested at a high level. I needed to make my investment back, obviously. But I also made the commitment to myself that I wanted to be working with higher paying clients, people who were committed to their own success, who were up to big things, and I wanted to be able to support them in that way. And then I leapfrogged my income, you know, from charging $2,000. That was my first high-end program, was $2,000, up to $13,000, you know, working with clients. And I did that within 6 months. So I started charging the higher fees and getting like a clear understanding of who my ideal clients were and how to track them about 12 months ago. And then I was able to leapfrog from, actually I leapfrogged from about 5,000 or 6,000 to the 13,000 within the last 6 months. So just so you know where that transition was happening for me. Okay? So together, we're going to walk through how you can do this in your business, how you can make the same leaps in income in a very short time frame by creating a simple business model of your own, one that allows you to really hone in on the transformation that you're providing to your clients. It's super important. Once you get what that transformation is, you can then figure out what that value is, and you can charge based on that, all right? And so you can do all of this without having multiple certifications, without trading your time for dollars, without fancy websites, without a big, huge list, without any of that fluff, all right? All the stuff that you're being taught that you need to have, you do not need to have. You don't need to have it. And I'm living proof of it, and I'm about to show you a case study of a client who's living proof of it as well, all right? So let's just go to Shelly's story. Shelly is one of my favorite clients. I love her to death. I love all of my clients. You know, they say that I inspire them, but my clients really inspire me. They feed my soul. And to watch them blossom in the time that we work together, it's so fulfilling for me. And it makes what I do so much more fun. So I love to talk about them and highlight their successes. So Shelly is one of my clients. We've been working together for a few months. And within the first couple of weeks, she had this success, which is she was charging $100 an hour when she came to work with me. And she was afraid to charge $150 an hour. So she was afraid to bump it up by $50. And within weeks, we were able to take what she does and package that into a program, a high-end program, for 90 days that she charged $3,000 for. She got really clear on her message, and she had new clients self-selecting themselves to work with her. Confidence soared. It literally shot through the roof. And she's been in business before she and I worked together. She had been in business for 2 years and piecing things together, right? Not getting the full picture. And so because of that, you know, she didn't really have the confidence that she needed. She didn't really have a clear process so that she could actually communicate the value of what she does to her ideal clients. So, you know, it was a little bit shaky for her. But once she put the program together, you know, we worked together, her confidence soared. She's getting her service out into the world in a much bigger way, and she's on track to meet her six-figure goals. So let's talk about a little bit in more detail what Shelly did. She got clear on her value, all right? And she decided to go for it. Remember I talked earlier about the number one reason you're not making the money that you want is because you're not really ready to go for it yet. The number might scare you, or you might not know how to do it, or whatever the excuses, or maybe you don't even feel like you're worthy. That's a big one. That was my big one. Not feeling like I was worthy of making more money, or that I was ready enough yet, or that I would be a fraud. All of that stuff gets in our way and prevents us from making the money that we want. So this is one of the things I really work with my clients on, is not only developing your confidence in terms of your program, but also your value, understanding your worth so that you can charge more, right? So that's something that Shelly and I worked on together, and that's what I work with a lot of my clients on, because it does you no good to have the process in place, but then you not feel ready to offer it, right? You not feel ready to offer a multi-thousand-dollar program. So we got clear on her values, the result, that unique transformation that she provides. We identified her profit sweet spot, which again is that place where your skills intersect with your passion, as well as the problem that you solve for your ideal client. This also helps you stand out from the cloud, right? It helps you stand out from the crowd. So if you feel like right now you're lost in a sea of sameness where everybody's like a clone of you, they're doing the same kind of thing as you, when you identify what your profit sweet spot is, that intersection of where your passions meet with your skills and the problem that you solve for your client, that's when you really start to stand out from the crowd. Keep saying it. Stand out from the crowd and attract more of your ideal clients. Shelly also created her signature system, which I told you earlier was the step-by-step process that you take your clients through to get a specific result, because it, again, makes your service more tangible. And then once you make that signature system, once you know what your process is, then you can package it, all right? So know that your signature system is your process, your program, your high-end program, your package. That is the delivery method, okay? And so what Shelly chose to do was she chose to deliver her signature system within a 90-day program, okay? So the 90-day program was her offer. It was her high-end program. So I want you to understand that there's a distinction, okay, between your process and your program. And she was actually able to sell it before she actually created the content. I'm whispering because that's an insider trader secret. She sold her program before she created the content. There's a whole psychology behind why you want to do it that way. Saves you a ton of time and money, And that's something that I work with my clients on, understanding why they should do it that way and how to sell the program before the content for it is actually created, all right? And she cut her time in half. You know, instead of working and selling her services by the hour, in her 90-day program, she was meeting with her clients once every other week, so biweekly, for a 30-minute session. And she had her content already created, so, you know, it's kind of simple. So I just want you to know how easy that was, right? I mean, that wasn't a lot of steps. I just walked you through a couple different things that we did. It was not complicated at all. You just have to know what the process is and have someone walk you through how to do that in your own business, all right? So here's what that does for you. This is what it frees you up to do. Once you have all of this stuff in place, once you know what your process is and you create your program, this then allows you to go out and fill your pipeline with more potential clients without fear of overwhelm, because your programs are going to be structured in a way that actually support your lifestyle. So you're not going to have to, you know, work with people hours on hours, or some of you might be working with clients well into the middle of the night, working nights and weekends, serving your clients, and not even getting paid well for it. I know that that's the story for some of you, right? This also frees you up to help your clients get consistent results. I mentioned when you have a clear process that helps your clients achieve the results that they're after, you can be more consistent in delivering those results because it's the same process that you take your clients through. You have a greater success rate. You also get to increase your fees based on the results that your program provides, rather than selling your time. That's what we want to avoid. We don't want to sell your time. We actually want to free up your time. Okay, your clients don't care about your time. Your clients care about getting the results. So if you can get them the results, you know, in 90 days in biweekly sessions versus, I don't know, hour-long sessions every single week for, you know, 4 months or something, I mean, I think that's a big difference, right? And it's obviously a big difference for you. You get to work more on your business. So the big picture stuff, the strategy, the development, you get to do all of that stuff versus working so much in your business where it feels like a job. So I don't know whether you're currently working a job and working your business on the side, or if you're in your business full time. Either way, if you don't have a simple process to run your business, I know that it feels like a job to you. So that's exactly what mine felt like. It felt like more work, right? It wasn't fun, it was work. And now my work feels like play, and I want that to be the same experience that you have. You also get to enjoy more time, more life with your family and your friends. Now, when you free yourself from working so much in your business, what do you get to do? right? What do you get to do? You get to have a lot more fun. You get to enjoy more of life. And that's what we all want, right? You also get to create leverage. You can create group programs. You can generate consistent cash flow. And you can work anywhere in the world. One of Shelly's dreams is to work. She actually wants to get a villa in Italy. So that's one of her dreams, and that's what she's working towards. So what is it for you? Where do you want to work? Maybe you want to work from home, or maybe you don't. I don't know. But think about that. Allow yourself to dream, right? Allow yourself to confront your limiting beliefs about yourself, about your financial situation, about what's possible for you in your life, and really allow yourself to just go there. Just be really honest with what it is that you want, and don't judge yourself for it. Just want it if you want it, right? Okay. So my question to you is your business right now giving you the money, the freedom, and the fulfillment that you want every day? Is your business right now giving you the money, the freedom, and the fulfillment that you want every day? Are you working with the exact clients that you want? Are you making exactly the amount of money that you want, not what you've been settling for, right? And are you having fun running your business? Now, I believe that your work should be something that you feel proud of. And, you know, it should be something that makes a difference in your life and in the lives of the people that you serve. And you should be getting paid amazing money to do it. And you should be making money consistently. No more up and down income swings. No more feast or famine. No more robbing Peter to pay Paul because the cash isn't flowing in. No more. Right? So if your business is not bringing in the money, the freedom, and the fulfillment day after day, then here's how you can turn it around. All right? The first thing you want to do is create a tangible, results-driven offer. So remember, you want to have your signature system in place first, which is your process that you help your clients get results through, right? So your signature system takes your client from point A to point B. And let's just say, for sake of example, it's a 7-step signature system. You then want to turn that into a results-driven, a tangible, high-end program offer, right? So I've given you 5 examples here, right? You can offer VIP days, which are intensive days where you work with your clients one-on-one. More than likely, depending upon how many steps you have in your signature system, you can't get through the entire system within a VIP day. But there are workarounds for that, okay? You can also create a 3 to 6 month program, like Shelly did. You can also create a 6 to 8 month training program. You can create a 1 up to 3 day workshop, or you can create a longer term group program, right? Now, the key here is that whatever you create has to provide a tangible result. You want to get clear on the result that you create. Then you design your signature system, figuring out what those steps are to help your client get that result, and then you want to create a program from your system. And I also shared with you the key distinction already, your signature system being your process and your program being the way that you deliver your process. So I'm giving you on your screen 5 different ways that you can deliver your process, okay? Now, there are more ways than what I've shared on here, but these are the main ways. Okay, these are the main ways. So that's the first step, okay, in turning your situation around. The second step is you want to price it right. So I've given you some examples of pricing, okay? You can work with these prices or you can choose different pricing. I just want to give you some examples of what's common in the industry. So, for example, for a 3 to 6 month program, you can charge anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500, depending upon what your market is, right? Who are you serving? What's the result that you're promising? And also your confidence level, right? All I want you to do from, this slide is see what's possible. So if some of these numbers feel too big for you, that's okay. You start where you are, and you can always work your way up. I just want you to be aware of what is possible, right? Now, I will tell you that my clients generally get started around the $3,000 mark, so they're usually charging $3,000 for a 3-month program. Some of my clients start off with VIP days, and they might start out around $2,000 for a VIP day. So it really depends on your market. It depends on the promise, that outcome, all right? The $3,000 price point, why I like it is because it's not very high, although it might be a stretch for you, depending upon where you are. But what it does is it's where you can draw the line in the sand with your clients and really attract the clients who are committed and serious about whatever transformation it is that you provide, versus the people who are not going to be your best clients, the people who are not going to take responsibility for their results, so they're not going to get any results, right? They don't actually really want to change. They might be spending money. They don't really want to change. What you want is you want to attract clients, your best clients, and these are the people who actually want the result that you're promising. They want it through and through. So it's not just intellectually, but in their heart they know now is the time to get that result, and they're entrusting you to help them get it. Those are the kind of clients that you really want to appeal to. And price really helps to kind of draw the line in the sand. It really creates that barrier between the clients that are going to get great results and give you better referrals and help boost your confidence, and the clients who, they're just going to kind of tinker around a little bit longer and waste their own time and yours as well, right? So I like going after higher-end clients because these are people who are serious about what they're up to. Obviously, these are people who can invest in what you're offering, so you get to make more money, and you get to make enough money that you are able to really be there with your client and help them get the result that they're after. Sometimes when you're charging these lower fees, it's difficult for you to feel like you can really get in there and serve your clients the way that you want, because you've got to take on so many. You don't even have the free time or the bandwidth to really work with those clients as deeply as you would like to, because the funds just aren't there. You have to constantly go out. You're like on a hamster wheel looking for new clients constantly just to make ends meet, right? But when you're working with higher-end clients and you're able to charge what you're worth for the value that you provide, then you can really show up and give them everything that they need to get the result that they're after. Okay? So let's talk about the third step here. So you've already figured out or got an idea of what your program can be, and we just talked about pricing, which is step 2. So step 3 is, how do you get these clients? How do you get people to know what you've got going on, right? And the solution to that is to use education-based marketing to get the right client to pursue you. So education-based marketing is where you're going out into the marketplace and you're not saying, hey, me, look at me. Instead, you're naming the problem for your ideal client and you're helping them get a solution. So you're giving them enough information to help them get some results in advance, because that then positions you as a solution provider, right? So it's not enough just to have an amazing program. You actually have to get the word out about it. And again, you can do this even if you're the quiet type, even if you're more of an introvert. There's different ways to do this, and I'll be sharing that with you in just a second. But the bottom line here is you don't want to chase prospects. You never want to chase anything, because whatever you chase runs away, right? So instead, you want to track them. You want to get them to come to you. You want to get them to raise their hand and ask you for your help, all right? So that's where you'll see on the screen where it says lead magnet. And so I've given you 5 examples of lead magnets. One is a webinar or a teleseminar like this. So a lead magnet is essentially an attraction tool. It's something that your clients can opt in for. They raise their hand and say, I need your help, right? So you can deliver that in the form of a webinar or a teleseminar. You can deliver it in the form of a PDF report or a book. You can give audio training, maybe like an MP3. You can do low-cost preview workshop or even free preview workshops. So these are like workshops that you have in your local area. Maybe you charge nothing, or maybe you charge something nominal, like $15 or $25 to have people come in and get a preview of how you can support them. You can also use a video series as lead magnet. So these are probably all things that you've heard about or experienced in your past, right? So you should be familiar with them to some degree. The question is, do you know how to use them, when to use, how much content to put into them. So those are all of the things that you really need to learn and understand how to do. And that's not something that you get overnight, right? But it is something that if you have a system, if you have the training, that you can learn to do fairly quickly, okay? And the reason why they're so important, your lead magnets or your attraction tools, is because they position you as the go-to person. They position you as a solution provider in the mind of your ideal client. And of course, they build your list because people are opting in for them, right? So you're not chasing prospects. You don't feel pushy or hypey. And it's really based on getting your program together, knowing what your signature system is, creating your program, and then creating a lead magnet that leads your prospect back to wanting your program. So it's all tied in together. Everything is about being cohesive, right? So you're doing the least amount of work to get the greatest reward, all right? So I will tell you that one of the ways, actually the most prominent way that I help my clients get their lead magnets out into the world is using Facebook. That's the strategy that I use. It's a strategy that I've invested a lot of money and experience in really honing in for myself and helping my clients do the same. So whether you want to grow your business strictly online or even if you want to grow your business offline, you can use Facebook to make all of that happen for you, to get leads coming into your business consistently on a daily basis. So it does no good to have a pretty website if you have one, or think about investing in a website if you don't have a way to get leads, right? The same thing with, when you're out trying to network, for example. Sometimes it's difficult to network when you feel like people are trying to push their services on you. Facebook avoids all of that because if you use, I'm talking about Facebook ads here specifically, when you're using Facebook ads to drive leads to your business, there is no one pushing anything on you. You're providing value to potential clients and having them opt into your list to learn how you might be able to serve them, okay? So that's just what I wanted to bring up for you right now. Now, I told you earlier that I've got a lot of content that I really would love to be able to share with you. And so far, we've got about a half an hour left, so I'm going to give you as much as I can in the time that we have left. And I've given you two of my really good points already. Actually, I've walked you through the full three of them, and I'm going to be sharing some more with you in just a second. I just want to check in with you, make sure we're all on the same page, and make sure you're getting the value that you came here for. So I want to check in with you, and I'd love to hear from you. Just say yay or nay, or yes or no, if you're getting the value that you came here to get so far. So just type in the Q&A box and let me know that you're here and that you're digging the content. I want to thrive, Lori. I'm with you. Elena can relate. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. I am so glad to hear that you are getting what you wanted. So happy to hear that. All right. So I can tell by the responses that I'm seeing so far that I'm making the impact that I wanted to make, that I'm giving you the content that you needed the most. And I'm certain that by the time, we get through this training, that I'm going to touch each and every one of you with the information that you came here to get. So I'm happy that you're here and that you're getting value. And if you're already thinking to yourself that you want more, that you want to dive deeper, I'm going to have an opportunity available for you that I'll tell you about a little bit later. Now, it might not be for everybody, just so you know, but I do believe that it's for some of you. And, if you're thinking at this point that you want to get in, you want to get a head start, what I would offer to you right now is that you can apply for a complimentary consultation with me. And you can do that if you want to get a head start now because I only have 10 consultations available. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about what we're going to cover in that session later on in the training. But it's really this consultation is really for people who know that they want to increase their fees by up to 500%, like I've shown you how to do so far on this training within the next 12 months. Like you need to know that you're ready to take your business to 6 figures within the next 12 months in order for this session to really be of value for you because it's some high-level stuff that I'll be consulting with you on, really getting clear about where you are and how you can dial in these strategies that I'm sharing with you into your specific business. So again, it's a complimentary consultation. It's free, no cost to you. And you should also know that I normally charge $250 for this session, but because you're here on the webinar, I'm offering it to you complimentary. So if you want to get in, if you want to get a head start and apply, you can go to DesireeStafford.com/consult. All right? So now I want to jump right back into that, how this all works, right? So I've shared with you the main teaching points that I wanted to get across, but I want you to now see how all of this works in conjunction with each other so that you can get the results that you're after, so that you can start attracting more of your high-end clients, right? So what I first want to do is run through what the numbers look like for you. I promised you at the beginning of the training that you could make $3,000 to $12,000 within the next 30 days. Here's how you can do this, okay? Let's say, for example, like Shelly, you decide to offer a 90-day program, and you decide to price it at $3,000, okay? And your goal is $12,000 for the month. That means that you only need to enroll 4 clients into 90-day programs at $3,000 to make $12,000. So that's easy math, right? So I like to keep it simple, easy math. All right, now if you have a closing ratio currently at industry standard, which is just 20%, and I can help you bump it up to higher than that. If you had 20 people that you spoke to in a month and you were converting out of 20 people, only 20%, that would give you the 4 clients that you need in order to make your $12,000 in a month. Okay? See how simple that is? And so you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, where do I get 20 people to talk to, right? Where do they come from? Not out of the sky, Desiree, right? You're right. Here's how you do it. You use Facebook, just like I was talking about. That's how I attract my people. That's how my clients attract their people. So we use Facebook to get your lead magnet out there, okay? So your lead magnet, again, could be a webinar, a teleseminar, a PDF report, audio, video series, whatever, right? The medium is not as important as the content that is in it, right? As long as it is content that provides value to your ideal client, as well as positions you as a solution provider for them, okay? So we use Facebook ads to drive people to what you see on your screen. It looks like a little envelope, but what that signifies is an opt-in page. So you're driving people to an opt-in page. Remember when I said you don't have to have a website? You don't. There's a great program out there called Lead Pages, very inexpensive for what it does, and it creates opt-in pages in minutes, and there's tracking and conversion tools and all this kind of stuff that you may not even need to know about right now, but just know that a service like that exists where you don't need to go out and spend a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s on a website. You can get lead pages and run your entire business off of that, okay? You don't have to know coding or any of that kind of jazz. So you drive people from a Facebook ad to an opt-in page, and then when they opt in, you see the magnet, that's your lead magnet that they get. They get to download and consume that. And then from that, you want to drive people to have a conversation with you, all right? That's the simple little process. That's how easy it is to turn your situation around, all right? Now, I want you to think about something for a second. You know, I've given a lot of these big numbers, and you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, it sounds good, but I don't know that I can charge that much, right? Look, I know because I was sitting there the same way. I'm like, yeah, everyone says I can charge this kind of money, but can I really do that? It seems weird, right, especially when you're doing something that you love to do. And I really want you to think about the value that you provide. I was actually speaking with someone yesterday, and she offers a great service to moms where she helps mothers reconnect with their authentic self. But you know how, as women, we have a tendency to give away so much of who we are and forget about ourselves in the process. And she actually helps women reclaim who they are. And, you know, not only do they become better mothers and partners, but they also just get to be better people in the world and better examples for their children, right? And just feel good about who they are. And so she's charging very, very low fees for that right now because she didn't know what else to do, you know, and also because she didn't have the structure in place. She doesn't have a signature system. She doesn't know how to package. She didn't know any of that kind of stuff. So, you know, she's charging really low fees for an incredible value. And so I really said to her, you know, what is it the value that your clients are getting out of working with you. And that's when she explained to me what I just explained to you, that they get to be their authentic selves again, and they get to feel empowered and all that kind of good stuff that gets to happen to them, right? And so when you position it that way, I asked her, I said, well, what would you be willing to pay for something like that? And she's like, a lot. I said, what's a lot to you? And I suggested a container of 8 weeks. It could be shorter, it could be longer, kind of really depends on where you are and what the outcome is that you provide. But she said she would have been willing to invest at least $1,500. And if she were my client, I would have her charging a little bit more than that. I'd have her really charging anywhere around $2,500 to $3,000 for the value that she's providing to these women. But my point is that oftentimes you're pricing based on these very low standards that you have for yourself about what your value is. And I want you to stop doing that. And I really want you to start thinking about the results that your clients get and what they get out of making the investment. Because although you get to make the money, and that part is really good and it's really fun, but you have to remember that money gets people's attention. And when you want someone to get amazing results, oftentimes raising your fees allows them to do that. And it really helps them make a commitment. When I say them, I'm talking about your clients. It really helps your clients make a commitment to themselves that they are committed to getting the transformation that they're asking you to support them through. All right? Oftentimes, charging low fees is a disservice to your client. Doesn't mean that they're not getting value, but they don't perceive the value that they're getting, right? So then they go out and they spend more money. They start chasing shiny objects themselves, trying to get the result because they're not focused and they're not committed because you don't have their attention. So charging high fees isn't just about you. It's also about your client and what they get out of it, okay? I want you to think about something for a second. Let's say you're a relationship coach, all right? And the work that you do helps your clients find the love of their life. Are you going to charge $100 for that? I don't think so. Not if your client's been struggling for 15 years or 5 years or a year. It doesn't matter how long. But if your client has been struggling for any amount of time, maybe spending, lonely nights at home and reading every relationship book that she can and still not finding someone to spend her weekends with, still not finding the love of her life, someone, to support her and cherish her the way that she wants, do you think if you're able to help her do that, it's not worth more than $100? Or whatever you're currently charging? This is how I want you to think about your value. I want you to really think about what is the result that your client gets from working with you and how you can charge based on that. And another thing you want to think about is when you undercharge, it really hurts your credibility because your clients are not going to believe that they're going to get the best results with you. No? Do you think your clients will think that they're going to get better results from someone that they invest, $3,000 for a program with versus someone that they pay $300 for a program with? I can tell you from my personal experience, I would pay a lot more attention to the $3,000 program than I would the $300 program. And that coach, that consultant, that person who was charging me the $3,000, not only would they get my attention, but I would appreciate the fact that they had that container, that program available for me to step up into and assert my commitment to myself. Okay? So I hope you get the distinction through that, all right? So we've got a few more minutes left here, and I want to boogie through the rest of the training. So let's recap here. We talked about creating a tangible, results-driven offer. So that is your program based on your signature system. We talked about pricing your offer correctly. Or I gave you, really I didn't say correctly, but I gave you some price ranges so that you can start thinking about what you want to charge. And I also told you how you can start attracting those higher-end clients by educating them and getting your lead magnets out into the world using Facebook ads as a way to market. Even if your lead magnet is something like it's something like a workshop, like I mentioned, right? So that's my recap. What I want to do is make sure that you got what you were needing today. So if you want to type into the question box and let me know that you're still with me and that you were getting what you needed, let me know that. I'm going to try to refresh the screen and also try to figure out why I can't see the rest of my slides here. 1 minute. Sandra said yes. Thank you, Sandra. All right. Okay, cool. I want to make sure that you guys were getting the value that you wanted. So I talked to you about the program. I talked to you about what the pricing is. And now I want you to think about, what would it feel like for you to make an extra $3,000 to $12,000 a month? What would that feel like to you? What if you could do that within the next 30 days? What would that really feel like, and what would it allow you to do? Really allow yourself to think about that. Now, would you be able to leave your job if you have a day job and work your business full-time? Would you be able to make a full-time income, even if your business is full-time right now, but it doesn't feel like a full-time income? Would you be able to up that? Would you be able to finally feel financially secure and not have to worry about how to pay your bills, right? Would you be able to travel the world as you want, have more control of your time, take care of aging parents, give back to charities that you really care about? What would having an extra $3,000 to $12,000 a month feel like to you? Really give that some thought. Right? And what is it costing you right now to not have high-end programs in your business? So let's say 3 months, 6 months down the line, if after this training you decided to do nothing, to not implement anything that I shared, what would your business look like? Would you continue to charge low fees and work with the wrong clients, maybe even needy and demanding clients? Would you continue feeling overwhelmed, maybe even near burnout? Would you keep feeling stuck like you're on a hamster wheel for another 3 months, another 6 months, even a year? Would you consider giving up your freedom and getting a job, one that you know you're not going to like, but you'd have to get it to supplement your income? Would you keep borrowing money from maybe your savings or your credit cards to fund your business? And I also really want you to think about, what's it costing your clients, the people who you're meant to serve? What's it costing them to have to work with other people who don't care nearly as much as you care about them, because you really didn't learn how to package up what you do in a way that inspires them to say yes to you. But they went and said yes to somebody else. Right? Really think about that. So what I want you to do, after you've given that some thought, as you're listening to me talk about, what's possible and what can also happen if you decide not to take action, think about how your life would be different, how your business would be different if you decided to turn what you've learned today into lasting transformation. Because you're still here on this training with me, right? So I have every confidence and actually every belief in you that you can make this happen, that you can turn your situation around and implement everything that I've shared with you today. And that would free up your time. That would allow you to increase your fees significantly, and you could do it in weeks, right? So if you're still thinking, all right, it sounds really good, but will this work for me, right? I know I used to think that all the time, like, will this really work for my business? If that's what you're thinking, then here's the opportunity that I promised you earlier. It is to apply for a complimentary consultation with me, okay? Because if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, wondering, really, am I ready yet? Will this work for my business and my specific situation? can I really charge more? I mean, I know you do it. I know Shelly's done it. I know your other clients have done it, but can I really charge more? If you're sitting there and you're having those questions, then I would invite you to apply for a complimentary consultation with me. And again, that is a $250 value that I'm offering to you complimentary because you're on this training. And I only have 10 spots open. So I've got less than 10 spots open because some people took me up on the first offer. All right, guys. So I only have 7 spots open. All right? So if that's something that you know that you want, let me just tell you a little bit about what we're going to do together. We're going to, number one, look at your situation. We're going to identify your unique situation, where you are versus where you want to be. And I'm going to give you some strategies and also some feedback to help you get there quicker so that you can start making the money that you want and deserve, right? We're also going to walk through, what is that number one thing that's been holding you back so that you can actually move past it, right? And we already talked about the fact that it's fear, but what is that fear for you? What is it that's holding you back from really going after the money that you want? And then we're also going to identify what is the next best step that you can take. What is the next thing that you can do, implement in your business right away to start getting the results that you want, okay? Now, this isn't for everyone. Let you know that right now. I'm offering it for free because you're here on this training. So you've already indicated to me and to yourself that you want more, that you're no longer willing to tolerate the situation that you're in right now, right? And you want something to change. You want it to be different. And I also know that you need more than information, right? If information was the only thing that you need, you would be crazy successful right now. Not to say that you don't have some success going on for you right now, but it's clear because you're here that things aren't working the way you want them to work. Or maybe it's not happening as fast, or it's not as easy, or whatever that challenge is for you. You're still here because you're looking for something to be different, right? So that's why I'm offering you this opportunity to have a conversation with me to see if we can dial these strategies into your business, your unique situation. Right? And like I said, it is not for everyone. I'll tell you who it's for. It's for those of you who are serious about your business, you're willing to invest in your education, you're results-oriented, you want to be held accountable, and you're driven and committed to breaking through either your first or your next 6 figures as a coach, author, or speaker within the next 12 months. That's who this session is for. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to make a commitment to invest with me, but you've got to be at that place in your business where you're seeking help, where you're at the point where you're like, I'm ready to amp this up, and I'm not going to continue to try to figure this out on my own anymore. Because if you could, then you would by now, right? You know that. You're smart enough to know that. So if you're interested in this session, you can go ahead and apply at DesireeStafford.com/consult, all right? So if you know that you want to get in on one of these sessions before they go, then go ahead and apply at DesireeStafford.com/consult. So we've got a few more minutes left. I want to jump on and see if there are any questions I can answer for you. If you have questions, go ahead and put them into the thing. Hi, Natalie. You want a consultation? Awesome. All you have to do is go to DesireeStafford.com/consult to go ahead and apply. And I'm reading some of your other notes here. Oh, I love what you say. Natalie, we must speak. I'm so excited about what you're up to. We must speak. So please go ahead and apply for a consultation. Let's see who else. Who else has some questions here? Lori, is this a question? Lori, I'm not sure if you're asking me a question. I see that you're proofreading and editing a book for a client, but your business is new. How do you juggle? Okay, so Lori is saying that she's proofreading, editing, and publishing a book for a client, but her business is new and she hasn't had the time to actually promote her business. How do you juggle working on a big project and promote at the same time? I love this. Can't make money if no one knows I'm here. Totally agree with you, Lori. You're absolutely right. This is one of the reasons why I love the Facebook ads process, because that's not something that you have to spend a lot of time on. Once you get your programs in place, we create your lead magnet, your attraction tool. We run some ads, and you get people opting into your list consistently. So this is like almost getting leads on autopilot, right? So you don't have to be out and about networking and meeting people one-on-one to bring the leads in the door. You do the work up front, which is not a ton of work, but you do the work up front, and then you have a system in place that is generating leads for you consistently while you're working on those bigger projects for your clients, all right? So if you want to talk to me about some other strategies that I might have for you, go ahead and apply for a consultation at DesireeStafford.com/consult. All right? Any other questions, guys? Let's see. All right. Looks like I have another question from Sam. Sam is asking, is there any obligation to join any of my programs if she decides it's not for her right now? And Sam, the answer is no. I'm all about empowering you, right? I want every one of you, each and every one of you, to be as successful as you can be, okay? Either I'm the person for you or I'm not. So I know who I'm looking for, and this consultation it's twofold, right? It's an opportunity for you to get the help and support that you need without having to invest the $250. And it's an opportunity for us both to see if working together is a fit. It might not be. I don't know. Neither one of us will know until we have that consultation. So if you're thinking that it's something that you're interested in, I would say go ahead and apply, and then we can decide. You know, I might not even offer you a program because it just might not be the right fit for where you are. I don't know where you're at in your business. So I would think of this as more of a coffee date, not a marriage, right? We're just going to really get an idea of where you are versus where you want to go and what strategies you can start implementing in your business to make that happen so that you can realize the results that you're after, right? Any other questions? Getting ready to wrap up. I'm doing really well on time, guys. I'm super excited about that. I really honor and respect your time, so when I can end on time, that makes me happy. All right. While I'm waiting to see if there are any more questions, I did promise you guys that high-converting sales funnel. So if you want to get your hands on that, you want to email me at info@DesireeStafford.com, and you want to send an email to info@DesireeStafford.com. Just put sales funnel in the headline, and either myself or my assistant will get that over to you by tomorrow. So one more quick check for questions. No more? All right, we're good. So ladies, folks, it has been my absolute pleasure, excuse me, to be here on the line with you today. I hope I've answered your questions. I hope I've given you a tremendous amount of value. I was pouring into as much as I could in the time that we've had. And I really hope, if nothing else, you've gotten a sense of what are the things that you need to change in your business, how you really need to think about your value, and how you can price significantly more for it once you're clear about what that is, what the possibilities are for you in terms of how much income you can make and how quickly you can make that happen in your life and in your business. I really hope you got that out of being here today. And I really also hope that you're inspired and that you're ready to make something happen right now. You're no longer willing to tolerate, chasing shiny objects and struggling unnecessarily because there's no reason for it. There really, really is no reason for that. So if you would like my support, you can go ahead and apply for a complimentary session at DesireeStafford.com/consult, and, we can take things from there. Until then, I want you to know that it has been my absolute pleasure to be here with you today and serving you, and I'd love to continue to serve you if it's a fit for both of us. And I really hope that you're up to big, bold things in your life and in your business. Take care.